What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more garbage. And we're returning to Beautiful Garbage, 2001. Once again, shout out to Philip. And the next track is Can't Cry These Tears. So the word can't is ambiguous to me on a very strict semantic level. Can't refers to physical possibility, and thus you might be in a situation where you feel unable to articulate gesturally or physiologically the emotion that should be there, but to say these tears then turns it around and suggests that there are tears present that you're designating. So yes, I suspect can't is less literal and it's more about normative attitudes, the idea that I shouldn't be crying in this way given the context, given the situation. Maybe it's about feeling like you should be stronger, or that the hurt shouldn't be as big as it is. Now, of course, you can cry for happy reasons as well, but typically, in a song title like this, I would expect the word tears to relate to emotional sadness and perhaps despairing. Ultimately, it feels like there's a disconnect between what someone feels like should be happening. I saw that, Luca. I saw what you were doing there. And what is happening. So I don't know, or at least I wouldn't be surprised if the song went in a different direction, but my prediction at the outset would be about someone who is crying but feels like they shouldn't be, either because of temporal distance between what is making them cry and the present, or because they feel like they should have greater psycho-emotional fortitude, but the dam is breaking and the tears are flowing. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Garbage. The track is Can't Cry These Tears, and it's from the 2021 remaster of their 2001 album, Beautiful Garbage. Very like throwback vintage. That won't cry these tears. is a bit of an ominous threat for what might happen in the future here. First of all, I'll try to focus on the sonics. Most of the song, or like the A parts of the song, are very throwback, almost like a mid-20th century ballad type of song. Definitely a different type of arrangement and sound than their alternative rock meets electronic music that I think is maybe what they're most known for, certainly what I've come to expect in more songs than otherwise. However, that section, which, before I even move on to the B sections, they had almost like a church wedding bell, which feels like there may be something at play in terms of that sound being, or that type of bell being used specifically. But they're offset against these B sections, which number one have this strobe. I don't know if it was just panning left-right, but it was also sort of start-stop, and it gave it a very disorienting, edgy type of feel, which, to be fair, those two qualities, a bit disorienting and edgy, are something I do associate with a majority of garbage tunes. I'm never going to get over the sound of phrases like that when I use them. But yes, it felt like the actual seething emotion or attitude underlying the I don't care anymore, I've reached at the end of the road, I can't be crying these tears anymore, it's time to cut my losses. Like, she's saying things in the A parts that feel like she's just giving up, and she's also saying I hear from this other person that, you still mention me and so on, you should be careful who you're talking to. But then she's also saying, is she really as good for you as I was? Does she kiss you the way I was? So it feels like there's a tension in the narrator, that she's over it, she's trying to convince herself that she shouldn't be crying about this anymore, it's time to move on, cut her losses. But the edginess of the B parts and some of the lines that I'm gonna settle the score, which you tend to say when you still have actions toward the person or situation that you think needs settling, that there's a disparity, there's a deficit in the account. So it sounds like maybe there's a threat about what she might do to this person to, in her mind, finally bring it to an end and let her walk away and stop crying in a way that she'll feel stronger about or better about. And indeed, there was a line about feeling stronger. So yeah, it feels like she's trying to convince herself that she's gotten past this guy who's moved on and is clearly involved with another woman. But some of the lines speak to her still being a bit focused on it, hung up on it, if you will, and feeling that she needs to throw down the gauntlet before she can then walk away more proud of herself or accepting that it's not actually going to be the case anymore. So I feel like some of my comments in advance were sort of heading in the right direction, but it feels like the narrator herself is a bit in two minds, or at least there's a level that she's telling herself externally or specifically, but seething underneath that is maybe some resentment and anger still at the guy for leaving in the first place and quickly finding his way to another and speaking about her in terms that are unflattering to the narrator. So I don't know if she plans to attend the wedding of her former partner and this other woman and maybe, tell him off or do something worse. But it definitely feels like there's a bit of foreboding, foreshadowing for what might happen after the song finishes. So it feels in a way like a perfect garbage song, even if the A sides of the track are surprisingly oldie-timey and sing-songy in a way I wouldn't expect. So they managed to retain the feeling and atmosphere of a garbage tune as I've come to know it, while giving me something unexpected in terms of half of the sonics, if you will. So a really interesting one. Curious to hear what people have to say about this. Let me know, and I will see you next time. Peace.